Good evening. This is Pat from Pat's Card Corner, and tonight it's time for another Therapy Thursday. And look, this is who I am. There we go. So sorry about the other weird start, but my camera was sideways, and I didn't think you'd want to look at it sideways all night long. So I just restarted it. So hopefully this is going to work. So there we go. Okay, so all right. I'm having a little computer difficulty here just for a second. There we go. So if you are here watching, please say hi. Hi, Sharon. Happy Thursday. So this should be a fun time tonight. And I've got a really fun card to show you. And I am going to be using this Counting Sheep stamp set. This is one of the stamp sets that you can buy, or not buy, you can get it for free when you purchase $50 worth of Stampin' Up! Products from now until the end of September. Ah, hola, Cruz, and hi, Laura. So glad you all joined me, and hopefully this will be a fun time. So now that I got everything working and we're not sideways, because you know I have enough problems as it is without being sideways. So I am going to go over the pieces that we have for the card, and then we're going to get going. So you are going to need a trimmer and scorer. So you might want to have those ready, and I'm going to explain these little pieces in a minute. So hold on. All right, so the first thing you're going to need is a piece of cardstock that is 5.5 by 8.5, and we're going to do just a little bit of cutting and a lot of scoring, so to make our card. And then you're going to need some more cardstock, and this is, well, let me show you the Designer Series paper first. So this is the Designer Series paper that I'm using. This is from the Your Peach stamp set, and I picked this because these little things here, these little flowers, kind of look like a little meadow with flowers in it. And I thought, you know, sheep in a meadow, dancing through the flowers, because they kind of look like they're hopping and dancing, would be perfect. So that's why I have this. So I'm using Balmy Blue, which is the color of this, and this is Pear Pizzazz. So this is my coordinating cardstock. So you can, whatever colors you're using. Hey, Joan. So you will need 3 pieces of your coordinating cardstock. One is 2 7/8, which is this way, by 1 7/8. This one is 2 7/8 by 1 1/8. And this one is 2 7/8 by 7/8. So those are those. Then you also need one piece, and this is going this direction. Let me turn this direction too. This one is 2 3/8 by 4 1/8. So lots of 8s in there. And then you're going to need coordinating, not, well, this one kind of coordinates, but I'm going to flip that over. This piece is 2 1/4 by 4. This piece is 2 3/4 by 1 3/4. This piece is, I'm going to move this over here. This one is 2 3/4 by 1. And this little one over here is 2 3/4 by 3/4. So if you cut a piece that's 2 3/4 going across, and it's, you know, a longer strip, you can just cut it into these 3 sizes: 1 3/4, 1 3/4. And we also need a piece of basic white, and this piece is 2 3/8 by 4 1/8. So it's the same size as this one. And then I have some scraps these are to stamp my sheep on and also the sentiments on. And this, which is another piece of the Pear Pizzazz cardstock, is because I did my sentiments using this punch, which is the double oval punch. So you get a scalloped punch and a just a regular oval all in one, and it just makes it real easy. Oh look, you can see my ceiling or whatever you're looking at. Not sure what that is. There you go. Now it's kind of, yeah. Oh, it's my curtains. That's what that is. Yeah. Okay, so let's turn it this way. This way you can see it better without it being shining on the light. So this is the two punches. So then if you also, you might have noticed this little fence and these little balloons. The stamp set, wherever I put it right here. The stamp set has a set of dies that go with it. And you can also get these for free too. So you can see there's 3 little sheep shapes, and there's a little party hat, which is on here. But there are also a couple of shapes that are not on the stamp set, and that is this little piece of fence, some balloons, this is a sun, and then you've got a couple clouds and a little flag, like a pennant flag. So I went ahead and die cut out the fence and a couple of the balloons because I'm going to be using those on my card. So anyway, there you go. Okay, so I'm gonna hopefully give you a minute just to see. Oh, look at those little things floating by. So you can get your measurements. So they will be posted on my blog. Yes, this bundle is a lot of fun. I haven't used it too much, but I am making a fun card with it tonight, so hopefully you got yours out and you can try this too. So I'm just going to move these aside because the first thing we're going to do is, well, we're going to do these first because then we'll be ready to put our card together. So we're going to score and cut last, kind of. So I'm going to move these out of the way. And these, let me move these too. Okay, so these pieces are all going to get layered on top of each other. And you can kind of tell by looking at the size how they're going to go. So I'm going to take these pieces off. These pieces off. And you can kind of tell that these are all going to layer just like that. So we're going to go ahead and glue those together first. I know it kind of seems like out of order, but then when we're ready to make the card, it's going to go together like really fast because we'll already have these things put together. And this is the easy peasy part because, you know, you're just kind of layering the pieces onto your cardstock. So I hope everybody has had a good day today. So it's been kind of a busy day here for me. I was trying to get a bunch of stuff done and I'm a little behind still, so I actually sent my husband off with my mother to go on a 5-hour trip to go to the other side of Virginia to, because there's a Virginia Tech football game tomorrow and we have season tickets, so I'm actually going to miss the game because I'm going to stay home and make cards. Does that sound like fun? I love to go to the games, but I need to get caught up on some stuff and that's going to allow me to do that. So hopefully they will have a good time. So my mother's not going to the game. She's actually, my brother lives there too, so she is going to stay with my sister-in-law. They're going to watch it on TV. So it would be kind of a long walk for my mom to walk from the parking lot to the stadium, because it's about a good 40 half-hour walk at least minimum, and you know, probably by the time you get to your seats it's probably 45 minutes, so that's kind of uphill, lots of hills. So anyway, so these are our pieces, and now we got them together, and we're just going to set them aside real quick. And now we're going to get out our piece of 5.5 by 8.5 cardstock, and we are going to cut and score. So, and it's not your normal cutting and scoring, so it's just a little bit different. So we are going to have our, I gotta think which, I always get it mixed up because I don't know why I get it mixed up. Okay, so this is how it's going to work. We are going to, this is the short side, the 5.5 side, and we're going to put this at the 3-inch mark. So you're going to line the left side of your cardstock up with the 3-inch mark, and then on where we're going to cut first, but we're not going to cut all the way. We're only going to cut part way. So we're going to cut from the 1-inch mark. So on my little ruler, it's right here, and we're going to go all the way down to the 6.5-inch mark. And if you look at your blade, you'll see that there's like a little line on the side. That way you can line it up with the 1-inch mark here, and you can line up that little mark right there. So I was telling somebody the other day that this is backwards for me. Being left-handed, I want my measurements on this side. I don't know why, because it just makes more sense to me. So I kind of struggle a little bit with that, having on the ruler on the opposite side. And I could turn my cutter around the other way, but that just kind of makes the arm on the wrong side. So, you know, yes, this is the fun part, as Sharon says. So anyway, so we're going to cut from the 1. So you're going to place your cutting blade right at the 1, and you're just going to cut all the way down until your little line hits the 6.5, which is right here on mine. And that's all you're going to do, and then you're going to lift it up. So now you have like a slit in your card, just like that. Okay? Now we're going to turn it around. Make sure I did this right. Yes, I did. Okay, and we're going to flip it this way. Wait a minute, hold on. So this is where we cut it, in the 3-inch mark. We cut it right here. I know, I get myself mixed up here. All right. This is, okay, this is how we're doing it. So we're going to turn it. So this is straight up. We're going to turn it counterclockwise, and we're going to line this, the left side up with the 1. So now this is the long side. We're going to line it up with the 1-inch mark, and we're going to score it, not cut it. So move your cutting blade out of the way. I'm going to move this down just a little bit because I can see I'm out of the screen here. Yep. So you can see a little better. There we go. Back myself up here. Okay, so we're going to line this up at the 1-inch mark, and we're going to score it right only until we get to where it's cut. Okay, so you're just going to put your little arm down, and where it's cut is about the 2.5-inch mark on this side. So you're just going to score it right until you get to where it's cut, and you can see where that is. This blade also has a little line on it, so you're just going to score it. And hopefully you can see that. You can see where it's scored. So you'll see that it's lined up right with where the edge of where I cut it is where the score mark is. Okay, so that was 1 inch. Now we're going to move it over to the 2-inch mark, and we're going to do the same thing. We're only going to score it from the top to right where it is. You know what? I did it on the wrong way. Hello. I did. Okay, I just scored it on the wrong side. Yep, I did. Okay, We want to score it on the fatter side, not the skinny side. All right, hold on. Yes, Sharon said this was the fun part. This was so fun that I messed it up a little bit. But actually this is going to get covered up, so it won't matter that if we scored it here, so it won't matter. So we're going to just start it over again. I'm going to do it this way. Except for I'm going to start at the bottom and go up. And that way it'll be on the right side. Okay, so 1 inch mark. So like I said, it's not going to matter that we scored it here because this right here is going to get covered up. So we are going to go ahead and score it from the bottom at the 1 inch mark to where it's cut instead of from the top. Sorry about that. I knew something was not quite right. Okay, so now we have it scored from the bottom. Now we're going to move it over 2 inches to the 2 inch mark, and we're going to score from the bottom to where it's cut. And you can kind of see right there. Okay. So I hope you all are following along and not, hopefully I didn't mess you up too much. Okay, so that was 1 inch and then 2 inch. The next measurement is going to be 3 1/4 inches. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to score from the bottom to the top. Okay. Then the next measurement is 4 1/2. So we're going to score it on the 4 1/2 inch mark. And just gonna, there you go. And then the last one is 6 1/2. And if you remember, we made our, I had to move my arm out a little bit. We made our cut from 1 to 6 1/2. So the 6 1/2, that score line is going to match up with the end of where we cut it. Okay. There we go. All right. And then we have one more thing that we're going to score, and this is from the top. And this is, we're going to score it at 4 1/4, and we're going to score from the top to the middle. Just like that. Okay, so that one went to the middle, and the other ones did not. And then I'm going to show you how we're going to fold this. I'm going to move this out of the way. So I hope that wasn't too confusing for you. And then we are going to fold, this one is going to get folded in half, so you can kind of crease just that little half right there. And I had my bone folder here a minute ago. Okay, this side, we're going to fold this one down. Oops. This is going to go down. The next one is going to go up and down and up and down. So it's going to get folded kind of like an accordion. So it's going to look, this is called a step card. So it's going to look like this. I'm trying to hold it this way so you can kind of see that it's a step card. But you are going to want to crease these really good. So I'm just going to go back and take my bone folder and crease them really good. Okay, and there we go. Now these pieces, remember I said where I accidentally scored is going to get covered up? It's going to get covered up by this piece, so you aren't even going to see where we made our little boo-boo. So, okay, so I'm going to, all right, so this is where you're going to score, because Sharon just asked, where do I score it again? So you're going to score it at 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 1/4, 4 1/2, and 6 1/2. So when we were doing it, it was, we did it this way. It was 1, we moved over to 2, 3 1/4, 4 1/2, 6 1/2. Okay, and then it gets all folded up like that. I'm going to leave that here, just kind of over here off to the side in case somebody else needs it. Okay, so this piece is going to get glued right here, right to the front, just like that. And then the other pieces, you can actually open this up, the other pieces are going to get put on your little stair steps. So the smallest one is going to go on the front, this one is going to go there, and this one is going to go there. So it's like every other one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue these on so you can see what it's going to look like once it's all folded. Now you don't have to put the cardstock on the back. If you want, you can just put your Designer Series paper on. I liked it with a little bit of border on it. I don't know why, it's just me. But you don't have to do that. You can just, if you don't want, you can leave off the this cardstock layer if you wanted to. So this one is going to go right up here. And I did kind of open it up so you can kind of, so I can kind of tell where I'm putting them. Let's straighten that out a little bit. And then this one is going to go over here on the other side. And there we are, and we're covering up our little scoring boo-boo. Like I said, it won't show, and it doesn't show. So now when you fold it up, it looks like this. So each of the, so where it's facing forward, you're gonna see each of the little things. So now we're going to stamp some sheep because we need sheep to be running around on our card. So I'm actually using all three of these, so we're gonna stamp all three. And I stamped them, I'm gonna set this aside real quick. So my paper here. I stamped them in black, took Memento black. And where's my sheep? And here's my sheep. Okay. So if you look at, my sheep are falling apart. Okay, so these are the three sheep stamp, and if you look at the stamps, you'll notice that there was a little piece cut out in the middle. And the reason they did that is because the empty space, the void space there is kind of big for the sheep, that most likely that not having that piece there prevents you from getting ink on that little spot and then having it transfer onto your to where you're stamping, because it's kind of like, it could be like a little low spot. So by taking that piece out, then you don't have to worry about that you're going to end up with like a black splotch in the middle of your sheep because it's missing. So there's no chance of getting ink there, so you don't get ink on your when you're stamping. And we're just going to stamp. There's two, and then I think I have a smaller piece. Let's use this. Oops, got ink on my hand. It's okay. Okay, so there's our three sheep. I also stamped three little party hats. So these are the little party hats, and I'm just gonna stamp them over here. So there is a die for the party hats, but honestly, by the time you color them in and do the little die, it's like a little triangle. It's so easy to cut out that I just fussy cut them out myself. So I did do a little coloring on the sheep. So not, sheep are white, but if you kind of go around the outside with a little, this is Smoky Slate. This is one of the Stampin' Blends markers. And I just kind of went around the outside a little bit. It just kind of helps define the sheep just a tad. And then where all these little kind of like little lines are, I just kind of went over those too. And it just kind of makes it just look a little bit better. So I did go around their face too. A little bit on their ear. It's the side of their face. It's the top of their head. And I kind of did one leg, kind of like where I thought maybe the shadow would be, if there was like light shining on it. So you can kind of see the difference of with it kind of shaded in a little bit and kind of not. I think it just kind of gives it a little more definition. So I did that on all three of these, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm not sure if anybody else has these sheep, but you could do this card. We're actually going to put the sheep on the little stairs. I'm going to show you just a second, but you can do this card with all kinds of things. So when we were looking at the other night, if you go on Pinterest, because there's a million cards on Pinterest, I think everybody knows that you'll see lots of examples of different cards. I've seen Christmas cards with a tree on one side, and I haven't showed you the card yet. And you could do flowers, you could do other animals, you could do Christmas ornaments. There's all kinds of things that you could do to make a little scenery. If you have the Hey Chick stamp set, you could use that with this also to make a step card, because you can make like a little barnyard scene with it. And so where's his legs? There's his other one. Okay. Oops, let me get his ear here. Little ear there. Okay. So I also used my Flirty Flamingo, and because I think they should have like a little pink nose or something, and maybe a little pink around the ear. You know, because don't lambs and sheep have little pink noses? I don't know. I kind of think so. And then I used the Smoky Slate Dark and colored in the little hooves here. Okay. Kind of like that. And I also colored in, oh, one more there. He's got 4. I colored in the party hats, and I kind of did those in similar colors to my paper, although there is not a Pear Pizzazz Stampin' Blends marker, so I just picked one of the other greens, and this is actually Soft Seafoam Dark, so it worked okay. So I just kind of colored in some of the dots on some of these. I made one of the hats green. Kind of did a little pom-pom there. And then the other ones, I used Balmy Blue. I have the dark and the light. And just colored in some of the other little polka dots on the hats. And the little pom-pom on the top. And kind of color in the background a little bit. So now we have 3 party hats. Okay. And I am going to fussy cut the little hats out. But through the magic of Facebook Live, ooh, hedgehogs. I'm going to cut these apart. I actually die cut these, and through the magic of Facebook Live, I can, look, here they are. 3 more sheep. So I am going to cut these out though, real quick, because they don't take but a second. And honestly, it's just as fast to do it this way than it is to line them up and die cut them out, because there's only one little party hat die. So, and see how fast it is? It's like, why? Yeah, you don't, since there's pretty much almost like a straight line, they just cut out very, very quickly. And then I'm going to show you the card so I can show you what I meant by having something kind of sticking up off your card. There's 2 party hats. And 1 more. And then we are going to stamp the sentiments too, because I haven't done that yet either. But that goes really quick. Just to stamp those. And whoop, 3 party hats. Okay, so let me show you the card. So this, move my little sheep and hats over. Okay, so this is the card that I did, and you trying to hold it up so you can see. So you can see my little sheep. So I put one over here with some the little balloons, and then the other 2 are sitting over here. So when you, it's kind of hard to see showing you standing up. So it kind of looked like that when you see it standing up. I did do another one. So if you had the Hey Chick dies, or you have something taller, it will obviously stick up farther. The only thing you need to be careful of is when you're putting anything on this one, this taller step, is that you don't want it to go past the top of your card here. So I have plenty of space if I wanted something taller, but you don't want to go past that, because otherwise it won't fit in your envelope. Okay, so this one I did that way. The other one I did, this is one I did earlier, and I moved my sheep around because I wanted it to be taller here, so I kind of switched some of them around. So because this wasn't even as tall as that one, you can kind of see it's a little bit shorter. And I moved my sentiments around. So then you just kind of want to decorate your card however you want. Oh, she's going to be 90. Your mom's going to be 90 this month. Yay. Well, happy birthday to her. I hope she likes it. So this is how I put it together. So you know me and dimensionals. I did use a lot of dimensionals on my card. I did some on the fence, and I also used them to put the sheep on and the balloons, because you know balloons need to look like they're floating in the air, and for the sentiment also. So I'm just gonna throw some little dimensionals on the back of here, and they fit right on the back of these little fence posts, so you don't see them. These are the mini dimensionals, so these are smaller, so they will fit there. You know, I could have put a fence all the way across too. Oops. I think it's supposed to go this way so it looks like it's a gate. So, because one end has like a little, has extra pieces on it that this side doesn't have. Okay, so we use, these are the hats. Where's the other hat? There he is. So I think I did this one the last time. So I had to kind of be careful not to put them up too high, or else I didn't have room for my So Glad It's Your Birthday. So I'm actually going to put that on first. So I'm going to interrupt this to do little stamping for the 2 sentiments. So I did stamp those in black also, which makes it real easy. You just needed one color ink. You can do, but you can do any color you want. I'm going to stamp this one up here. I'll almost put my hand in it again. In fact, I did stick my hand in it. Yep. Okay. Whoop, let me cut these apart. Otherwise, I'm going to cut one off. So, here's one. And this is the other one. I think I'm going to need to cut off a little bit off the bottom, so it'll go down a little bit farther. Take that out. Put that in. Hello. There we go. And then I also had a piece of pear pizzazz, and we're going to just cut 2 of the scalloped ones. And one more. Extra pieces there. That out. And that way. There is kind of a right side and a wrong side to these, and they flipped around on me. So I also put these on dimensionals too, just it makes it go so much faster. Okay. Uh-oh. There's a lot of 90th birthdays. Oh, sassy since 1931. How cute. Yeah, my mom is 91. She'll be 92. She was sassy on her 90th birthday. She's still sassy. So I hope your mom has many more years and your friend has many more years too. All right, so we're going to put this one up here. And you also want to make sure when you're doing this one, if you're putting something sideways, that you don't go up above the top of your card, because then you won't get it in the envelope either. So I'm just going to glue that down before I put my sheep on, so then I know how far down I need to put my sheep. There we go. I could make it different, make him look like he's doing a little tightrope. But then I can't put balloons on it, so I kind of like the balloons. We're going to move you down just a tad. Make her look like she's trying to jump over the fence. So I am going to put some dimensionals on the back of this one, like the back of where her head is, because the fence is already on dimensionals. If I put a little bit of glue on her little hiney and a dimensional over there, then it'll be stuck down just right. Put a little bit of glue there, and it won't look kind of wonky. And there, she'll stick right there. Okay, and these are the 2 little balloons that I cut out. And I just put a dimensional on the back of each one and kind of tucked the strings underneath her little hoof, so that it looked like they're being held by her. So we're just going to put one right there. And these can go off the side, because, you know, your card's going to be folded, so it's okay if these go off just a little bit. Except for if they're going to go off, you need to be careful where you put your dimensional. So I'm actually going to put that one right there. There we go. And I'm going to put my You're Amazing down here. Because it kind of sticks up a little, I'm only going to put glue on the bottom so that it just gets adhered to the bottom, and that way I don't have glue hanging off the top. So if you can see on the back, there's no glue hanging out. And then you're just gonna put the sheep on, and you're just gonna, however you're gonna put your sheep, you're just going to attach them. I'm gonna try doing that one. Make this one jump up a little bit. We're gonna do this a little different. So you only need to attach them at the bottom of where their bodies are. You don't need to attach them to the, so they'll stick up just fine. So you only need to put, for the sheep anyway, depending on other, whatever, if you're doing other things, then you just kind of need to gauge where you want to put your, adhesive, so that your pieces will still stick up, but that they won't stick to other pieces. I'm going to put this one up here. So this, let's see if that's too tall. Nope. Oh, it's going to get hidden though. Let's scoot you over. There we go. Okay. So they also need their little party hats on. So for this one, I put a dimensional on the back and just attached it there so it looked like it was on top of her head, even though it's not really on top of her head. And these are tiny, but they will fit on the back. Stuck on there. I just kind of, here we go, there's one. And then for these, I actually did have to attach them a little bit with a little bit of glue. Just a tiny bit right on the edge. And I just stuck them on their heads. And now you're probably wondering, well, where am I writing on this card? Because there's no place to write on the front. And you're right, there isn't. And that's why you had the extra, wherever, you know, I think I might have, yep, I did. I stamped on it, my other piece. So I'm going to show you on the other card, because I stamped on my piece of white. You're going to put your other piece of white on the back so that you have a place to write. So now I'm going to have to cut another piece for the back of this one. So you can see it would go right there. So you're going to attach your other piece on the back so that you can write a little note, little happy birthday, Mom, or whatever you want to do. I also, and you might not be able to tell on this one, or not, maybe, not sure. I put a little Wink of Stella on my sheep to make them shiny. I'm not sure if it shows up on there or not. You can see it in person. It might not show up very well on camera, but there is some Wink of Stella on this little sheep. So now I have 3 different cards with my sheep going 3 different ways. And this is my last one. So there you go. So these are quick and easy. Once you do one, they're really easy to do another one. So, and then Sharon is, since she's doing hedgehogs, she's going to show us her card. And Laura, if you want to, when you finish your card, if you want to post it, I'd love to see it. See what your card looks like. So there you go. Quick and easy sheep card or step card. And it really looks, I know, it's so hard to show you what they look like standing up when it's not really standing up. So, but there you go. So, I hope you like this card. I hope you'll try it again. And I hope you try it with some other designs or some other things on the side. So, I'm going to try some other ones or do some other ones and post them on my blog so you can see and get some other ideas of things that you can do. So you can definitely do this with Christmas. You can put a Christmas tree, some presents, like a big pile of presents. You can do just all kinds of things. So I'm going to flip these down so you can see. So there you go. 3 fun cards. They fold up, they'll fit in an envelope, and they're fun to do. So I hope you had a good time. Hope you figured out how to do it and how to cut it and score it. And if not, you can watch this video again, because obviously it'll stay up on my Facebook page and it'll be on my YouTube channel. So, and Cruz, if you made a card, I want to see yours too. So everybody that's watching, I know there's somebody else watching. I know there's other people watching too. So hopefully, if anybody else is watching and you post your card, I'd love to see it. So have a good night, and I'll see you next Thursday on Therapy Thursday.